Let's let the live build up just a little bit. Let's let it build up just a little bit. We outside, we outside. Man, it look like it's about to get it popping out here. They got the strap. They shooting. Huh, huh, somebody call the cops, please. Immediately. They bucking. Boop, 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 boop. They bucking. They going crazy, guys. What's good, y'all? Shout out to my son Daylight, man. He said that's how that's how you kick up the algorithm. What? What you said? What? You soft, nigga. You soft. That's how you pick up the algorithm. You soft. You heard what I said. You soft. You ain't gonna do. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing. For those that's tuning in, it's your brother, man. We gotta talk about this right here, man. We gotta talk about this man right here. This man being unalive has got the internet on fire, bro. There's people right now that's saying, you know, may you rot in hell. Shout out to Doggy Diamonds. He said he received a phone call at 9 o'clock this morning, and he was like, well, went back to sleep with a smile on his face. I'm trying to figure out what did he do that was so horrendous that the Epstein didn't do. Now, I'm not in no support of this man's behavior. I'm just trying to get clear understanding. You see, one thing I realize about the melanated community, bro, we really pick and choose what's to be accepted and what's not. We really pick and choose, like, oh yeah, he's this, so we not rocking with him. But meanwhile, we got other individuals who do the same exact thing, and we see nothing wrong with that. Now, I'm not gonna make it. Listen, anybody that's touching children is a DUB. You put your hands on children, you should be thrown in jail, locked up, keys. You know what I'm saying? Death penalty, all of that. I don't play when it comes to children, but I still want to understand how the heck did we get here to the point where we are ridiculing individuals who's literally doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. P. Diddy's doing the same thing that what's that man's name? What's the dude that owns what's good, Riley? What's the dude? Hugh Hefner. What's P. Diddy doing that Hugh Hefner wasn't doing? What P. Diddy doing that your president wasn't doing, Clinton, etc. wasn't doing? I mean, all these people got their hands in the petty pot. And if you're gonna disagree with one, you gotta be disagreeing with all. We gotta stop picking and choosing what's valid and what's not. Once allegations is put on your name, whether it's guilty or not, once those allegations are put on your name, you automatically are a DUB. You automatically are not allowed to have any level of communication. Can you imagine somebody like myself? I'm confident in who I am, right? So I know that when I go out into the real world, or if you guys was to do your investigation upon me, you won't find absolutely nothing. You will never see my name associated with pedophilia. You'll never see my name associated with any level of snitching allegations. You will never see my name associated with SA. You will never see me associated with any homophobic, homosexual activities. You will never see my name associated with that. So I'm saying all of that to say, once your name is associated with that, 9 out of 10 times is because you did that. Nobody doesn't just wake up and say, "Yeah, so I'm about to spread a rumor and say that this man was, this man was a rat. He was a tattletale." That's not how things go. We gotta kill this so-called allegation. We gotta kill that, bro. That's associated with your name, my nigga. You did that. When children come out and they can give in-depth details of the things that they had to do, my nigga, you guilty. And I don't know too much about this man. I'm not from the Bronx. When his music was out, I was still a baby. I don't know nothing much about this man. But what I do know is he was a you know what? He was essaying you know who. And a lot of people did not do nothing about it. They kept their mouth closed. And now and now that he's no longer here, everybody's ready to speak. Everybody's speaking out now. Everybody is showing a high level of gratitude. Like it's like a sense of relief. And then it's like, nah, that's a fact. Big R, you was absolutely right. Everybody is created pure. Everything that you guys are seeing on this earth right now is what you guys call taught behavior. You was taught to act like this. You ever notice that you lose your child once your child participate in their school system? The school system is a cesspool, guys. The school system is just like prison. If you see the complex and the foundation of school, it mimics, and I repeat, it mimics prison. The yellow bus, white bus, the food, the school, the lightings, the food tray, the time outside, the curriculums, everything mimics the same thing. The only difference is at 3 o'clock, your child gets to go home. But the foundation of it all is similar to the prison complex. So you are taught to operate in this state that you guys are in. Hatred is taught behavior. Racism, taught behavior. All of these things is taught behavior. Essaying, touching little boys, homosexuality, all of that is taught behavior. Don't listen to the shenanigans and the fugazi that's gonna tell you, no, people was born. These are lies, bro. If people was born like that, then you will find yourself a homosexual lion somewhere, a homosexual tiger somewhere. You will see that. You know you are connected to the universe, right? You know you are connected to the universe. Your vibration is in line with the universe. We are detached because of the program. We are detached because of the program. And the program and the foundation of it all goes back to what? It goes back to religion. I'm going to give you some food today. Since you guys are here, I'm going to give you guys some food today. You guys are aware that the Bible in itself is a astrology book. How many of you guys know that? Put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no. How many of you guys know that the Bible is an astrology book? I've been digging down this rabbit hole trying to uncover the truth and the factual information that can explain why we are in these circumstances. So the brother said two. Okay. Look, in the Old Testament in itself, the entire Old Testament is in reference and honor of the moon. And the New Testament is in honor and reference of the sun. You guys say it's SON, but in reality, it's really SUN. When you see the writers of the New Testament, which is Mark, right? Mark, John, Matthews, and Luke. These are four. These are the four writers. Mark, John, Luke, Matthews. These are the four writers. Each one of these four writers represents the four seasons. Matthew, Luke, John, Mark represents the four seasons. Paul's writings, the reason why Paul was inserted into the Bible is because Paul is the first pope. He is the pope. He is the father of all popes, is Paul. Every religious organization, every pope that you guys see today follow the Paulinian doctrine. They don't follow Christ's doctrine. They follow the Paulinian doctrine. Old Testament, it's nothing but moon worship. Sinai, I want you guys to go. I want you guys to go on your computer right now. For the dude that says you fake, little bro. Okay, so if you thinking that what I'm saying is fake, go on the computer right now. Type in moon god named Sin. Yes, SIN. Type it in. Type in moon god, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, how there you go. So the word sin arrives from the Mesopotamian god named Sin. That's in honor of the moon. That's where Sin comes from. The name Sin is the name of the moon god in Mesopotamia. Mount Sinai, AI is the name. Sin is moon AI. That's why Moses spoke to the so-called burning bush. It was at nighttime. When he released his wrath, it was at nighttime. When Jacob was sleeping and an angel approached him, when was it? It was at nighttime. It's moon worship. That's why in the book it says, what's one of the feast days? Isn't it called the first moon? What is Passover about? Isn't it about the moon? The Star of David, isn't it in the sky? Doesn't the star come out at night? Isn't the stars in reflection of the moon? It's moon worship. The entire thing is moon worship. Why you think the Khazars, the three lettermen, people with things on their head, why you think they come out at night? Why you think their Sabbath is from sundown when the moon come up to sundown when the moon come up again? I be trying to educate you guys and give you guys clear understanding of what you're wasting your energy on. It's moon worship. It has nothing to do with anything righteous. Nothing is righteous in the book. I tell you guys this all the time. This is a barbaric, Luciferian, satanic book. Okay? The New Testament is in reference of the 12 seasons, right? You got 12 disciples, excuse me, that represents the 12 months of the year. And Jesus is the son that oversees the 12 months of the year. Is it triggering yet? Are you awoken yet? Or are you still sleeping? If you're still sleeping, then say I'm still sleeping. Everything is not what you think it is. The book that you guys are thinking that is your holy grail and is gonna bring you to a kingdom, that's not what the book was for. You have to really ask yourself this question. Why would these people that's running the world actually give you a book to get you free from their control? Who does Jesus represent? Jesus does not represent melanated people. Jesus does not represent your average Italian European, your 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 Greek Europeans. He does not represent you. He does not represent you. Jesus represents the people that you see running the show right now. He tells you that he came for that only. He told you that out his mouth. I have not come but for the lost sheep. He never came for you. Sorry, black man, he never came for you. Sorry, regular European, he never came for you. He told you, when I arrive, I'm coming with the sword. I am coming not to bring peace on this earth. From the moment Jesus Christ came back on this earth, you have yet to see any peace. It has been more chaotic after chaos after chaos after chaos. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you want me to read your comments, please. You already know what you do. Hit the super chats. Holla at your boy. Okay? You understand what I'm saying to you guys? He was sent here for a particular group of people. And ever since you guys have invested your energy into this so-called ideology, a particular group of people has risen to power while everybody else is taking a backseat. Even you Europeans, even you. It's so bad that you thought that this president was really going to put you guys back on top. But he lied to y'all. He double crossed y'all. And not only did he double cross y'all, but he's showing you who he pledged allegiance to. He's showing you who he pledged allegiance to. And who is that? Who did Jesus say he's coming to redeem? I come not but for the lost sheep of the house of what? Isis, Ra, and El. Don't let these melanated brothers fool you with this fugazi. They don't know what they're talking about. They just regurgitating the same one West European Freemason teachings. Okay? This whole entire black religious movement is nothing but government Freemason teachings. It started from Freemasonry. Freemasonry goes back to the what? To the Vatican. The Vatican goes back to who? The 13th family bloodline. Jesus was a who? Jesus was a 33-degree high priest. Jesus was the original priest for you guys. You have to understand how things is operating. Okay? The book is it's an astrology book, bro. It's a Luciferian, satanic, barbaric, devilish book that is designed to make you guys be in total agreement and acceptance to genocide, to pedophilia, to rape. Yes, all of that you can find in the book, guys. This is supposed to be the word of God. But God is writing about homosexuality. Isn't that what Sodom and Gomorrah was about? Wasn't Lot willing to give his Lot was willing to give his children's, his daughter's virginity to these wicked men that wanted to lay with their so-called angels. These same daughters that Lot wanted to give got this man drunk and made him lay with his children. You guys don't see nothing wrong with that. The daughters got their father drunk so they can have sexual intercourse to get pregnant. You don't find nothing wrong with that. So for you melanated people that's talking about that's our book, does that sound like some melanated behavior? Absolutely not. What's up, blood? Absolutely not. Make it make sense. The daughters got this man drunk out his behind, so they can live. Both of them, not just one, both of them. Both of them took chance. Both of them took. I don't want to say chances. Both of them took turns in sexualizing their daddy. You telling me that that's a book of God? It can make sense. It's a Luciferian, satanic, barbaric, wicked book. And I read it from front to back. I read it from front to back, back to forth. I did everything. And it all leads back to what? Jesuit order. It all justifies what? Genocide. It's religion that's creating people like this. It you guys thinking that I'm lying. How old was Abraham after Sarah died? How old was Abraham from his next wives? He was older than them by damn near 40 years. Having children too. This is what creates out of this. But I don't see nobody having no outbursts of the stories that's being told in these books. I don't hear nobody in an outbreak about what Allah was doing. But yeah, y'all mad at R. Kelly. Y'all mad at P. Diddy. But nobody don't get mad at Allah. Nobody don't get mad at Muhammad. Nobody don't get mad that Muhammad was a cross dresser. Nobody don't get mad at Paul. Nobody gets mad. Nobody gets mad. This is what I'm saying. This is the problem that's going on with us as humans. And this issue is not just in the United States. This shit is going on even out all the way out in Africa, all the way out in Europe, all the way out in Asia. We're picking and choosing what's right and what's wrong. So Lot's daughters did that to Lot. Where's the curses that happened to Lot's daughters? But Ham, a black man, supposedly, we're going based on what they said. Ham, a black man, the cursed seed, seen his father butt naked because his father decided to get drunk and passed out butt naked. And his son seen him butt naked. And he went to the brothers and said, yo, bro, your pop's in there naked. And Noah got mad at Ham and cursed him. And you guys believe that story. All through when you read the entire Old Testament, 9 out of 10 times the story took place at night. When Moses went up to go get the you know what, it was at night. When Moses came down, what it was at night. It was at night, and they seen a big bright shining in the sky. What was that? That was the moon. That's why you have the first moon. That's why you see these dudes walking around. That's why the Jewish people walk around with the Star of David. That's why these melanated brothers is outside with the Star of David, because it's worship to the moon. It's moon worship. Old Testament, moon worship. New Testament, sun worship. And everybody else is in the middle. I can't make this stuff up. I can't make this stuff up. He wrestled. Jay, I'm gonna give you a precept right now if you're thinking that I'm lying, right? Remember when Jacob was sleeping and he was wrestling with the angel, right? The angel tell him, "All right, son, we gotta conclude this. The sun is about to come up." Son said, "I'm lying. Prove me wrong." What is Passover? Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. When is the Sabbath day? From sundown to sundown. What is Sabbath? Sabbath goes back to what? Saturn. Saturn is where? It's in the sky, right? When you get information about Saturn, Saturn is what? The Lord of the Rings? What you think that is about? The golden calf? Take the earrings out your ear? Aaron said that. Give me all the earrings. It's moon worship. It's not Satan. It's Saturn. It's not Satan. It's Saturn. You're not doing why you think the Sabbath is on a Saturday, because you're giving worship to Saturn. Saturn, not Satan. Saturn. This is all astrology. This has nothing to do with what you guys are considered redemption and salvation. There's no salvation. It's only slaves in the plantation. That's all. You will never be saved ever in life. Don't worry about it. There's nobody. There's no. Listen. Check this out. Check this out. Jesus, who is a three-letter man, is not going to crack through the sky and save you from the three-letter man. It's not going to happen. Jesus' kingdom, this kingdom that you guys are waiting for him to bring, is here right now. How many times do I have to say this? How many lives do I have to do for you guys to understand that his kingdom is right now? It's now. Break it down. Put your pride aside, put your religious beliefs aside, and let's just go based on chronological timeline. Jesus was alive. He spoke to the disciples. The disciples said, "Hey man, tell us of your second coming." He said, "Well, you hear wars and rumors of wars. Silly rabbits, you really thought those wars and rumors of wars was at this time? No, sir. The wars and the rumors of wars was when they was invading people's space. The conversations of them invading people's space. You know what? Anybody that's not a you know what Christian is going to be enslaved. That is the war and rumors of war. Slavery was a war against humanity. Wake up. That's not normal. That's not regular. It's not regular to wake up and say, you know what? I'm just gonna, can you imagine me just coming into one of you guys' houses and say, you know what? Yeah, so check this out. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to you guys' cribs, and I'm just gonna take everybody outside this house, and I'm gonna put them in a truck, in a jeep, in a plane, and I'm gonna send them somewhere against their will, and they're gonna do whatever I tell them to do for the remainder of their lives. What would you call that? If anybody was a survivor of that house, if anybody was just a family member of that house, what would you call that? Isn't that a war against your family? Isn't that a war against your family? It's up now, right? That's what that was. When you look all around you, right? When you look all around you, everywhere you look, up, down, left, right, all you hear is see is portraits of Jesus. The Bible talks about Jesus. Remember, when Jesus was alive, there was no Bibles talking about him. Think about that. Make it make sense. There was no story about him. After he died, they gave you 15 complete versions. 15 complete versions. He told you when I come. He told you when I come. The next time I come, I'm coming to divide. What did religion do? How many households is divided based on religion? So how many children was separated from family based on religion? Stop. Wake up. Stop being so emotionally invested where you lose your logical common sense. You can't lose something that is embedded in you. Common sense is natural order. It's a common sense. I don't need somebody from the outskirts to tell me that. I already know that. You know, listen, this is how you know your body knows right from wrong. You know that. You don't need somebody to tell you right from wrong. You know that. You know touching somebody's woman is wrong. You know that. You know unaliving somebody is wrong. You know that. You know that touching little boys, little girls is wrong. You know that. You know that. So when you see what these people are feeding you when it's pertaining to this second coming, no, sir. Logical common sense is here already. From the moment he spoke till now, it's here. It's here. There's not a funeral you go to, there's not a service you go to, there's not a radio you listen to, there's not a movie you watch, there's absolutely nothing. There's not a war that took place in the name of Jesus, bro. Not. So when you guys are talking, oh man, the second coming, look, we at war. This is the war of all wars. No, it's not. It's not. If this was Armageddon, we would not be on this phone right now. If this was Armageddon, we would not be on this phone right now. If we was in the end times, the way that the Bible speaks of, we would not be talking right now. We would not. It's all about control. They control the seasons based on the energies that you display. If you're giving your energies unto them, the people that gave you the story is going to reign supreme. And those that's wasting their energy is going to be what? You're going to be the crab of the barrel. Why you think you're suffering? Why you think your prayers aren't being answered? Why you think you're still catching you still catching an STD, you still catching some cardiovascular disease, you're still catching cancer, you still catching diabetes, you still having heart attacks. These are people that go to church every Sunday, get on their knees every day, say I love you Jesus every night. And yet all these things happen. How? Why? That has nothing to do. Oh well, this is because the brothers was not fully invested and not fully faithful. That's not what Jesus told you to do. Jesus said, if you believe in me, if you believe in me, that's what he said out his mouth. If you believe in me, you should not taste death. Why is everybody tasting death? Why is everybody tasting death? And this is not a Timu shirt, sir. This is the EFF. If you know what's going on in South Africa, you know this is the EFF. Sorry, sir. Try again. Make it make sense. You're waiting for somebody to establish, and you guys don't even realize that's part of the reason why we're suffering right now, because you have been brainwashed to believe that something great is going to come through the sky and redeem you. So you sit back and let everything go bad. You let everything go left. You let everything get chaotic, and all you're going to say is, yeah, man, it has to happen, because you know that's when Jesus is going to come. But then what happens when he don't come? What happens when he don't show up? What happens then? What? By that time, it's already gonna be too late. And I'm speaking for the whole mass of humanity. We already taking a back seat tremendously with this AI. Whether it's Chat GPT, whether it's the AI, the auto, or the virtual AI virtual. I had a conversation with my daughter earlier today when we was driving. I said, you gotta understand what you are up against. They're telling you that they are giving humanity artificial intelligence so it can allow you to be naturally dumb. Let me say that again. We are receiving AI technology so you can accept being naturally dumb. So you can no longer have the urge to read a book. So you can have the urge to no longer write. So you can have the urge to no longer have face to face conversation. They're giving you AI. Listen, it's called artificial, which means it's not real. But they giving you something artificial so you can naturally accept being dumb. And that is what's physical. And that's part of the reason why we are in these circumstances. And for all those that's believing into this astrology book, I'm gonna ask you again. So show me where in the book, since this is the book, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the last. Since this is the book, show me where in the book where it speaks of AI technology. Where does it speak of AI taking control of the entire world? Yup. Listen, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of these things now, all of these social media platforms is literally being run by AI. I got hit with a penalty earlier today. I got hit with a penalty because I posted something of a boy putting the beats on his mother. I'm talking about whooping her bad. I put the post and they said that I was advertising the endangerment of a child. After appealing that joint, they come to the realize they said, "Oh, we're so sorry that our artificial intelligence took your thing down. It made a mistake. We're so sorry for the inconvenience. We restored your video." But the key word that I got out of that was AI. You don't find it suspicious that it's called AI and Mount Sinai is Sinai? That's how you spell Sinai. And the people that's governing the world give praise and honor into what area? Sinai? You don't find that suspicious? When are you guys ready to go down this rabbit hole? You guys are too content with just being bare, basic, normal human beings. That's not why your ancestors and your creators gave you a brain. Your brain was not designed to just take meteor information and absorb it and then be content with whatever is going on. That's not how life goes. Before it was a car, it was a horse, right? How did we evolve from a horse, from riding horses to cars? The person was seeking more knowledge and wisdom because that is the order of humanity. But with the creation of these, you see these? With the creation of these right here, the creation of these right here, it was the beginning stages of brothers and sisters being in complete compliance of being physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally dumb. This allows you to be dumb. Why you think they don't? Why you think they call it a smartphone? Why don't they just call it a cell phone? Why don't they just call it a phone? Why must they put emphasize? Why must they put emphasis on this being a smartphone? Because subconsciously in your brain, you know that you have access to a smartphone, which means you no longer have to have the desire to be smart. You in complete agreement with just being below average. We're so dumbed down, it's crazy. Yo, check this out. And I know I'm getting off topic, but I really want you guys to understand where we at. We're so behind that they had to lower the passing grade standards of America. That's how far back we are. All by design, by the way. That's how far back we are. They had to lower the grade standards. 65 was passing, and they're saying 65 is too hard for the average American, so they had to drop it down again. Remember when SATs and Regents really meant something? These shits don't mean nothing no more. You remember? Remember when you had English and the English class, you had to learn about etymology. Am I saying it right? Etymology, the definition of words, the meanings, the creation. You notice that they took that out of the curriculums, right? The reason why they took it out of the curriculums is because if you still knew about that, you will be able to identify people casting spells on your ass. Why you think they stopped you guys from writing in cursive? Cursive is spells. It's a curse. And if anybody was able to continue writing in cursive, they have power. Why you think they took that away? Why you think they call it the spelling bee? Do you know how to spell? Spell your name. Spell Jesus. 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 Yeah, you write in cursive. Do your children write in cursive? I'm talking about fluent cursive. I'm not talking about writing their name in script. I'm talking about fluent cursive. You remember when you was in school, you had to give an essay in cursive? You couldn't dare write an essay in regular words. You remember that? You know today's children don't know how to write in script? You know today's children don't even know how to write a signature? You don't see how dumbed down we are getting? You don't see how dumbed down we are getting? No, 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 nobody's paying attention to that. Of course, you're not gonna hear no news about this man. Of course, you're not gonna hear news about this man. He was never important. No disrespect to African Bambaataa, but he was never important. His music didn't make he didn't make no music that rocked the house. Nobody listening to that. On the beat. Nobody listening to that. Mm, mm, Nobody listening to that. No disrespect. Nobody was like I said, I didn't know nothing about African Bambaataa until Doggy Diamonds put me on to, what he did with Hassan Campbell and the other dude. I forgot the man's name. He had a horse face. No disrespect. Nobody knew about these people. But like I was saying, back to the dumbing down of humanity. We have been dumbed down. A sister sent me something. A sister asked me a question. She sent me something and then she asked me a question. The question was, why can't we all come together and rebel? I said, how can we rebel when they had converted us into substance abusers? Every single one of us here in the United States are substance abusers. You pick your poison. Some of you guys are addicted to your phone. Some of you guys are addicted to porn. Some of you guys is addicted to drugs. Some of you guys is addicted to alcohol. Some of you guys is addicted to cigarettes. Some of you guys are we are addicted to something. Once you become dependent on something that you can make naturally, you will always be under their control. Once you become on something that you can't make naturally, right? For example, why nobody's addicted to water? Because water is something that not only can you get it from the store, but you have access to that everywhere you go. I can go to a lake, I can turn on my faucet, I can go to the store, I can go anywhere and get access to water. So it does not make you, you know what I'm saying? It does not turn you into a dependent. So you function regularly. But when I give you stuff like weed and I give you stuff like alcohol and I give you stuff like porno and I give you stuff, I give you anything that fuels your dopamine. Once your dopamine is fed, and not to mention the sugar. Some people got substance abuse with food. With food. I'm watching today's society is the most unhealthiest I have ever seen the United States. The most unhealthiest. And I'm talking about in every aspect. I'm talking about from the big swole Arnold Schwarzenegger looking type niggas. They're sick. Your body not supposed to be that big. That's inhumane. Your heart cannot tolerate all that. That's why you see a lot of these bodybuilders catching these heart issues. It's too big. When you see today's women, thick, everybody wants to have a fat ass. So they're eating everything to make sure that their booty grows. But then when you look at their ankles, like I tell you guys, the feet tells the condition of a person. When you look at their ankles be swollen. They'll be like, oh, because I had them shoes on all day. No, 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 no. Those are sicknesses. Those are signs. These same girls that's super thick, bowel movements is not consistent. They're taking dumps, every other day. That's issues. So when she asked, how come we can't rebel? I told her, I kept it honest. And she said to me, yo, I never thought about that. I said, you have to think about that. You have to think about that. It's something that's supposed to be in your forefront. You have to see how society is becoming super weak. We have become too dependent on the system. That's why he can say, you know what, guys? Yeah, so I'm about to start a war. Come December, come December 2026, there's gonna be an automatic draft, and none of you can do nothing about it. Why? You know why? You're weak. You're soft. You have been broken. You have been broken. You're broken. And then the AI is literally, and listen, AI is here to take over your life. Let's just put it like that. That's what AI is here for. And AI goes back to Mount Sinai. AI. Remember the Mount AI? That's what AI is. You guys thinking that is some artificial thing. I mean, they got to create those names to keep you distracted. But AI, these are the angels and the moons and these fallen deities that came down off that moon, that Mount Sinai that you can read. Mount Sinai, yes, the moon, yeah. Mesopotamia. Go look it up. Read it. Read how they worship. Read what walked on those on that mountaintop. You said Revelation. Listen, like I told you guys before, the book of Revelations was removed and inserted around 13 or 14 times. Every time they removed it, every time they inserted, it was to fit the I said the emperor, the empire that was in control at that time. Right now, this is the empire that needs the book of Revelations because it goes with what they had plans to do. I'm still trying to find the website to the um the propaganda. I don't know. I think it's P2. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I really I will have to go to one of my old videos to go find it. I meant to save it in my hard drive, but I didn't. But it's P2 something. When you go into the P2 website, you're going to see all the things that they got in place. Everything that you see got in place. Oh yeah, so we're gonna do this because of this is gonna lead to a reaction where then we're gonna do this. They're playing chess. They're not playing checkers. These are chess moves. Like I was telling my daughter earlier today. I said, listen, I think it's time for us to learn how to play Monopoly. I think it's time for us to learn how to play chess. I think it's time for us to learn how to play everything that these dudes participate in. I think it's time for us to learn how to speak ancient Latin. I think it's time that we learn how to speak um Greek. I think that it's time. I would say I think it's time for us to speak Hebrew, but Hebrew was a language that was created by the Jesuit, and that only the sorcerers know how to understand it. That's why melanated people can never understand it. No matter, I don't care what they tell you, will never be able to understand it because that's their story. This is facts. I sing and I get tips on Mount Sinai. Yep, 22,000 chariots, armies of God. Mount Sinai is the mountain of the moon. The 22,000 angels that you're talking about is the stars. Remember they told you the stars were is angels, and then the falling and the stars fall down. You see the astrology. All of these things is pure cap, bro. None of these things is gonna happen. This is all about control. The enemy will never give you a book that will ever set you free. They will give you a book to keep you content. They'll give you a book that will keep you keep you with your hopes up. Why why you think all religion comes with the term faith? Faith is to believe into something that's fake. Say this all the time. How many lies must I do for you guys to understand that? Fake is to Faith is to believe into something that is fake. That's what faith is. Faith is literally to believe into something that is fake. It has absolutely no value. You can't listen to you have faith in Jesus. Why? You have to have faith because you know physically, logically, spiritually, you know you can't prove nothing. You know that man, Jesus ain't never spoke to me. Man, Jesus ain't never did this. You know that. But if I have belief and I have faith, I'm gonna just have faith. I'm just gonna sit back and wait. I know that it's fake. I know that I can't prove it. I know that I can't understand it. But because it's Jesus, you feel me? I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna continue having my faith. That's why all religion tells you what's the first thing that they tell you when you come inside of an Abrahamic religion. The first thing that they tell you say what? You gotta have faith, my brother. Through your faith, through your faith and your belief, that's how the Holy Spirit dwells in you. This is facts. You know I'm not listen, guys, you know I'm not telling you no lie. Oh yeah. So you see, when I hear weirdos like that, yeah, you get put on timeout for 24 hours. Get them out of here. Do your homework. Don't listen to me. Do your homework. I tell you guys this all the time. Just do your homework, bro. Do your homework. And you're gonna be shocked to see what you find. Now, why am I saying this? Yo, guys, check this out. This is for every nationality on the face of this earth. You guys know that once upon a time, you had your own spiritual beliefs, right? Europeans had their own Celtic gods, their own Greek gods, their own Roman gods. You had your own gods. The Council of Nicaea put an end to that. Okay? That's why the Irish was fighting against the British and all that because they wanted to implement this new, one Masonic, one God, one worship, and people was not trying to hear that, bro. And they kept fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and they end up falling. The Irish end up falling. The Irish was end up enslaved. Yes, Irish people was put on cargo slave ships too. That literally put an end to the Deuteronomy chapter 28. Put an end to that. There was a lot of people that was put on these ships for servitude. Okay? A lot. Do your homework. Don't listen to me. Like I tell you guys, just do your homework. You had your own gods. You had your own beliefs. Anybody that plays video games and you played the what's that game called? The God of War. Those gods that you see that you fighting against was real gods. When you playing these sci-fi games, these things are real gods. These are not made up gods. These are real gods. These are real things that your people used to follow and worship. The X-Men, the movie X-Men, all of these gods, these superheroes go back to African deities. Wolverine is a representation of Ogun. He doesn't die. He can't die. He gets healed. He has a special iron. That's where that comes from. You guys all had your own belief. And if you are a European, I think it's time for you to tap into your own beliefs. Go. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me show you. Give me a second. I'm gonna show you something. Look at this. Hold on. Let me turn on my. Let me take off my green screen. Hold on. How do I turn this off again? Oh no. How do I turn this off? All right. Let me show you guys. You see this? This is the Encyclopedia of the Gods. Over 2,500 deities. That's right here. Okay? Let me pull up some European gods for y'all. Let me pull up some European gods for y'all. As you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see. These are the timelines. Okay? Let me give you. Look, let's look up. I'm gonna show you Adonis. Adonis is origin, the Hellenic name adopted predominantly in the Phoenician and Syrian culture and based on the old Western Semitic deity. This is in Libyan and Syria, fertility and, and vegetation god. Okay, this is Adonis. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me get a little closer. Okay, and look, the list goes on. These are all deities. You guys had your own. You guys had your own belief system before it was invaded by Constantine. Okay, the first invasion of this ideology didn't start in Africa. They made the transitions first in Europe. Okay, mainly Rome. Okay, they took down Greek. Okay, all of every war, every battle, everything goes back down to religion. All of it. And this is just 2,500. I'm sure there's many more. I'm sure there's many more. So when I hear you guys talking, oh, Jesus this and Jesus that, I'm like, yo, son, when did Jesus ever answer your call? When did your faith ever intervene and did something where you can honestly say, yo, bro, it really mimics the same thing of the book? You can never find that ever in life. Never. If you ask the average Christian right now, I say, yo, bro, so you a believer of Christ, right? They'll be like, yeah. So you believe that everything that comes out of that book to be true, right? They'll be like, yeah. So I said, okay, so how come you haven't moved any mountains? How come you haven't did anything greater than Jesus? Jesus fed 5,000 people. He turned water into wine. How come you haven't done anything? But the book said once you believe, you'll be doing greater things. I have yet to see any one of you guys do anything great. I have yet to see you guys say, you know what? Let us all go to St. Jude's, wherever I'm located at, and let's put an end to these children that's dealing with stage 4 cancer. Not gonna find that. But your ancestors, wherever you at, your ancestors used to call on things that these people forbid you to call on. When you start trying to tap into that, They call you a witch. They call you a warlock. You was burnt alive. You was demonized. You was lynched. Your children was essayed. Your family was separated. Everything. Everything of that came into anybody that denied Jesus as their Lord and Savior. I can show you this on my computer. I can show you this on my computer. I can show you how the Spaniards, when they came out into the West, it was giving nothing but praise and honor to Jesus. They used to literally lynch people and burn them alive 13 at a time. 13 represented Jesus and the 12 disciples. That's what they want you to believe. But the 13 was in honor and reference to the 13th family. And guess what? Guess what, guys? Christopher Columbus is part of the 13th family. Let me show you. Let me make sure. Let me see if I saved it for you guys. Because, these guys be thinking that y'all be saying that I be talking crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you. Let me find this joint. Oh, don't tell me I didn't save it. Don't tell me I didn't save it. Damn, I didn't save it. Damn. My bad, guys. I thought I had it saved. But while we here, let me show you. Let me show you something. Hold on. Let me pull this up. You guys had your own. You had your own spiritual belief system before Jesus came on the scene. Okay. Okay. This is the foundation of where Jesus came from. This is the foundation of where Jesus came from. Every single one of them carried a child. I had a sister tell me, the president of Russia showed out the Black Madonna. I was like, what does that prove? Yeah, that that the people that's in the Bible are people of color. I said, silly rabbit. I said, I can show you the same Madonna that's for Chinese people. They got a Chinese Madonna. They got a Mexican Madonna. You guys know what I'm talking about. You can look these things up. The reason why they're showing this to melanated people because they seen that black people are drifting away from their teachings. And if you don't have the niggers under their control, they just might get spiritual powers and take this entire regime down. Just might. So of course, who do you call? Ghostbusters! Deenie, 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 You get what I'm saying? You call the Ghostbusters and then voila. They make a phone call and now out of nowhere, Putin got something to show the world. Why now? Why didn't you show it 10 years ago? Why didn't you show it once you became president? Why all of a sudden now you're showing it? Nobody asks these questions. Why now? Yeah, exactly. It's all about control. Has nothing to do with freedom, salvation. You will never be set. They will never, and I repeat, never receive salvation through the name of Jesus. Who told you that? Essence MLB, who told you that? Where are you getting this intel from? Can you trace this back to a wise man? We're not talking about no scientists or nothing like that. We Can you trace this belief to the wise man? Was this information given unto you by those that's on the internet? Because how can you, because you gotta ask yourself this question, my God. How can you carry the DNA of Yahweh when Yahweh, if let me pull it out for you. Yeah, Yahweh's a storm god. He's the god of storm. And when these people was creating the story, they put him as the face of the Biblos and told you that, yeah, that's why Yahweh, because your DNA matches his name. Come on, man. Come on, son. The enemy told you that, sir. Let me see if I can find Yahweh for you. Hold on. YHWH. I'm an S. I'm a U. I'm gonna show you this Yahweh. You wanna look up Yahweh? See, you see this right here, Thor. If I'm saying it right, Thoth. This is the writer of the This is the writer of the Book of Psalms. Get his book. Get this book. The god name is Thor. If I'm saying it right, Thoth. Origin Egyptian, god of the moon. God of the moon and what? Wisdom. Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, the book of Psalms, they took it from him. You can go on Amazon right now and get that book. Open up your Bible, read that book, and you're gonna see it go side by side. Just like I can open up the New Testament and open up the book of Dead and read it side by side. You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? Okay, no problem. Let's get Yahweh for the brother. Let's get Yahweh. Oh, we in Yahweh. YH. Oh, they don't even have Yahweh here. Oh, they got Yah. They got Yah. You know Yah. You know the Yah. All praises be to Yah. Let me show you. Let me not even say. Let me let you guys see with your own two eyes. Hold on. Let me know if you guys can see it. What does Yah say? What does this say? What does that say? Oh, don't worry. So for those that can't see it, let me read it for you. It says Yah, right? Moon god, Egyptian. Yah may have been a important to Egyptian brought by Semitic immigrants. Isn't that the Israelites that came? You know, they came as 70 souls and they left as a multitude of people. It's the moon god. Mount Sinai. It's the moon god. Let's see if we can see sin in here. Let's see if we're gonna find sin. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see. Let me see if I can find sin for you guys. Let me see if I can find sin. Let me see. Let me see if I can find some for you guys. Because everybody when I say the things that I say, because I look the way that I look and I dress the way that I dress, you know what I'm saying? I stay dressed to impress, sporty disinterest. Because I dress like this, a lot of you guys don't take me serious. Y'all be thinking that I'm just trying to bamboozle y'all. And in reality, I'm not. I'm just trying to give you guys the 311 so you can break free from this Luciferian, satanic, barbaric religion called the Abraham. All right, hold on. Let's pull up this sin. Let's see. Let's make sure sin is here. Let's make sure sin is here. Hold on. Let me make sure. Oh, huh? Huh? Here we go again. Here we go again. Where is that? Where did I just have it? Oh, here we go again. You see it? You see it? Okay, so let me read it for you guys. Sin, moon god, Mesopotamia, Babylonian. Isn't America or what they people tell you in the New Testament? Isn't it the modern day Babylon? Huh? Listen, derives from the older Sumerian model of Nana. His his consort is Nakiakal, Nikael, Nagel. He is symbolized by the new moon. Let's run that back. He is symbolized by the new moon and preserved as the bull whose horns are the crescent of the moon. Remember, remember, remember they said we want to make a golden calf? It was worship to the moon. Remember, Aaron required the earrings for Saturn? It's the worship to the moon. It goes back to the moon. The entire Old Testament is moon worship. Yah, Yahweh, whatever is to the moon. Moses was walking in the night and a burning bush was like, yo, you come here. Oh, me? Yeah, you. Get over here. Like Mortal Kombat. Take off your shoes. You're standing on Mount Sin. Come on, guys. I can't make this stuff up. I can't make this stuff up. 250 deities. It goes back to the moon. The New Testament is the sun. The Old Testament is the moon. Okay? The New Testament is the sun. Four writers that had their special encounter with Jesus. Four full writers only. Matthew, John, Luke, Mark. Four seasons: winter, summer, spring, fall. Four seasons. Jesus, 13, representation of the sun. 12 disciples represent the 12 months in a year. 12 months in a year. This all goes back to astrology. It all goes back to Luciferian, satanic, barbaric behavior, religions, philosophies. It's all wicked. The biggest sinners and the biggest wicked, the most wickedest people are the ones that believe in Jesus, bro. If you watch, if you watching what these people, if you watch what these people be telling you when it comes to the following of their gods, right? When you start talking about Jesus, you would think that these people would carry the Jesus approach, be like, yo, I'm just gonna pray for the brother, and maybe, maybe the God will open their arms and allow him to come back to the fold. No, that's not what they do. They disrespect you, they call you out your name, they say you're going to burn in hell, they say everything, they say the most egregious nonsense you have ever heard in your life to prove that what they believe in is facts and what you're doing is wrong. And that's not even how Jesus moved. And that's why these people suffer. And that's why these people are suffering. Facts. There you go. So when you wake up and you go to sleep, understand that once upon a time your ancestors used to call on numerous of gods. And it's that time. It's about that time for brothers and sisters to start trying to tap in. The difference between Europeans and melanated people is your identity wasn't stolen. Your identity wasn't altered. It wasn't shipped. Your name remains the same. Your language remains the same. So take the time out to go see what your ancestors was doing. Don't get dismayed by, oh, it's pagan. You think Christianity is not pagan? You guys is drinking blood, contaminated blood. You guys is eating body parts. That's not righteous. That's barbaric, bro. You're eating body parts. So for those that say, yeah, man, that's the body of Christ. So let me ask you a question. Which one of you is eating the ass cheeks? Somebody had to eat the butt cheeks. Which one of you guys is eating the web blows? Somebody had to eat the web blows, bro. That's satanic. That's not, that's you can't even find that in the Old Testament. Everything that's within the book is pagan, if you want to be technical. First moon, isn't that pagan? Sundown to sundown, that's pagan. That's moon worship. Passover is talking about the moon. You know, when the moon goes down, it passes over, and then out comes the sun. That's why the unaliving of the firstborn sons. Why it wasn't the first daughters? The sun, because after the moon goes down, after the moon passes over, the sun appears. And God is going to take out all the sons, all the firstborn sons. Come on, man. Pagan, satanic, it's barbaric. So Luciferian book, bro. Has nothing to do with salvation. Has nothing to do with connecting back. It has nothing to do with peace. Has nothing to do with love. That entire religion literally comes with division. Just look at the characteristics. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Pay attention to the behaviors. The behaviors. When I was invested into that nonsense, you should have seen how I used to look at people. I used to look at my mans and be like, yeah, that nigga going to hell. I used to say that all the time. Be like, yo, bro, you going to hell, bro. My man used to look at me and be like, why I'm going to hell? Because I don't believe what you don't believe in. And that's I used to be like, yeah. because you don't believe in Jesus Christ, yeah, you're going to hell, bro. So he's like, so somebody that, and this is what we got into a conversation. He said, so somebody that believes in Jesus but yet kills 50 million people, is he still going to heaven? I said, nah, he's not gonna go to heaven because he committed a sin. But according to the book, it says, he that believes on me shall never taste death. So and then when I ask what you mean by what's the meaning behind the death, I'm always told, the eternal life. Death. The first is the very first death and then the final death. I was like, oh, so I can be a killer, I can be a rapist, I can I can just sleep with everybody, I can just do pure madness and wicked and evil. And at the end of it all, because I am a follower of Jesus, I'm going to be saved. As long as I believe, I'm good. Oh, that explains why every Christian says God knows my heart. That's why every person that I see, a sinner, always got a cross around their neck. Some of you guys don't even know that the cross, let me show you this. Yeah. Matter of fact, yeah, let me show you this. You guys don't even know that the cross is the symbol of a box. All the Abrahamic religions go back to a box. You guys are aware of this, right? Okay, so cool. So let me break this down for you. Somebody draw a cross. All right. Now, this is a brand new pen. I don't want to waste my pen on no Jesus philosophy. Damn. Where's my pens? I don't want to. Hold on. I'm gonna do you something. I'm gonna do you this solid right now. Okay. I'm gonna do you guys this solid right now. Give me a second. And my joint is not as accurate. It's 12 o'clock a goddamn morning. But I want you guys to see this. Please hit the super chat. Hit the super chat. If you want me to see what you guys are posting, hit the super chat so you can be top of the line. Hit the super chat, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You know the whole shebang, man. I don't gotta tell you that. That joint is free, you heard? Subscribe to the channel, join the Patreon, follow me on all social media platforms, ROD Podcast. I am the biggest thing moving right now. I am him, you heard? I'm talking what you guys are afraid to talk. I ain't afraid to talk it. So this is a cross that I have, right? I know it's nasty. I didn't make the one on the side long enough. Pause, right? But if I was to bend it, right? You see me bending it? You watching me bend this? Okay? Okay? I take this, I put it around. Hold on. It's because the armrest is bad. But if I put it around, it becomes a box. It's a box. That's Christianity. When you look at Islam, what do they walk around? A box. What do they put their head in? They put their head inside of a vagina. The vagina is the reference of fertility, right? Fertility, for whatever you call that word, for I'm saying it wrong, but fertility, but you know what it is, the production of children, whatever, right? That's what that is, right? When you see the Wailing Wall, it's a wall. It's a representation of what? One side of the box. They tell you that the other side was taken down. No, it's a lie. It's a box. It's all a box. Everything is about keeping everybody in a box. That's what these religions was designed to do. Was designed to keep you in a box. It's a box. What's inside this box? You may want to ask. If you ask me what's inside this box, what's inside this box is your soul. Your soul is what's in this box. Your soul has been placed inside of this prison. Your soul is in the box. See that? If I was to wrap this all around, it becomes a full-fledged box. Your soul is in the box. Your soul is what is in prison. Your soul is the reason why you have been disconnected from the solar universe. The soul. Your soul has been disconnected. And they took away your soul and they told you what? You got to have faith. And through your faith, you get what? You get introduced to the Holy Spirit. What does holy means? When you look up into their dictionary, the word holy means separate. Spirit means demon. So you get a separate demon that overtakes your body, that removes your soul from your body. And then you now become dependent on the spirit. That's why when you get sick, you go to them. When you see the image of the hospitals, it's a cross with the snake wrapped around it. Yeah, I know. I know. Your soul is what gets put in that box. You get put in a mental imprisonment where you can't break free. And the only way you're going to break free is by deconstructing from their ideology. But the only way you're going to be able to break free from this ideology and complete comfortability is to understand that what they told you about heaven and hell, all that shit is lies. All of it is lies. When you leave this earth right here, you will be drifting off into the spiritual realm. If you think of what I'm saying is not true, how many of you guys lost somebody you love and that person came to you in your dream? How many of y'all lost somebody that you love and that person came to y'all in your dream? How many? How many of y'all lost somebody, your mom's, and you felt your mom's presence in your house? The reason why you guys aren't seeing them the way that you're supposed to is because you have fallen for the Luciferian bait. They made you, first of all, they made you bury your moms and your family members 15 million miles away, which was supposed to never be. You're supposed to bury your loved ones in the area where y'all dwell. Your mother's supposed to be buried in your backyard. Your father's supposed to be buried in your backyard. Your family's supposed to be buried in your backyard. These are things that we used to do back in the days. There was no such thing as cemeteries. We buried our loved ones in our backyards. That's first and foremost. Number two, what they got you guys believing in is the shedding of tears, the crying. You're not supposed to cry. Pain from the outer world affects the spiritual world. So if somebody that you love see you in pain crying, they're not going to come to you because it goes against the universal law. They're not supposed to be next to you. You're not supposed to shed a tear. In fact, you're supposed the time you're supposed to cry, you're supposed to cry when you give birth to a child. Because giving birth is the closest thing to death. You're supposed to cry for that because you completed your task, your 9-month task. You completed it with flying colors. You cry for that. That's a monumental a monumental achievement. Supposed to cry for that. Supposed to embrace it. But when somebody dies, you're supposed to have honor. That's why when you see certain rituals, you're supposed to put food out. You put the food out and they come out and they eat the food. And based on the food, they tell you that in the Old Testament. What you think Abraham was doing when he made the altar so the Lord could come down? Where you think they got that from? They get it from you. This is universal law. You put the food out. You put the food out. You play their music. You have to set the mood for how they like it, and they will show up. hmm How many of you guys had a family member that is making that transition to the other side, and all of a sudden they're telling you about family members that done passed on? They be like, "Yo, did you see? You don't see Uncle Joey right there?" And you looking around like, "Yo, ain't no Uncle Joey over here, bro. What are you talking about?" Yeah, yeah. Because you don't this notion of, oh, you dying, you gonna go to hell. That shit is not real. Think about this. You think if the story was hell was real, you think somebody like Trump will be in for complete confidence to just violate and drop bombs on other people for no reason? You think if hell was real, you think these people will be able to do that? You think if hell was real, you think these people will be invested in slavery? You think if hell was real, you think these people will be touching little girls and little boys? You think if hell was real, you think all of this chaos that you see in this world will be going on? If hell was real, everybody would literally be walking on eggshells. But because it's not, is the reason why you see society the way that it is. If hell was real, I promise you, you would not see people moving the way that they move. But it's because it's not real is the reason why you see in the world the way that it is. Every war you can imagine all goes back to religion. Every war. You can name it. World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, Desert Storm, the war between the Mexicans and the Americans with Cortez and all of that goes back to religion. Remember, these people needed to get the approval from the Pope. The Pope is the one that put it in decree. Anybody that's not a Christian shall be enslaved. It's ordained by God. God has allowed this to be. And brothers be like, word. Then that's what happened. Moon worship, sacrifice, Baal, all goes back to the moon. When you look into the image of Baal, when you look into the Tower of Babel, what they said, Nimrod wanted to create a tower to go back up where? Back up to the moon, the stars. You can't see stars at night, people. You can't see it at night. It's moon. It's to the moon. See, to the spiritual realm, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I know. All I do know is we have to connect back to the alignment of the universe first, and then allow the universe to give us these answers. We have been detached, so it's hard for me to tell you anything because we have all been detached. Our eating is off, our sleeping is off, our lifestyle is off. Everything is off. So, in order for us to gain back some level of control and understanding, we have to go back to the ways of old. But we're so psychologically backed up, like we so disconnected that going back to that is very hard for people to embrace that. Like you get what I'm saying? It's like, damn, bro, you think I don't think I could do that because it's literally a super reset. But we have to make those adjustments, especially in the climate that we are in and where we're heading and what these people that's sitting in these positions want. Yeah, bro, we might have to really start tapping in. We have to put it in. We have to start separating ourselves from these Abrahamic, Luciferian, satanic, barbaric religions. We have to. And take back your soul. You take back your soul. Your soul is what's connected to the solar universe. When you die, you get put back into the what? Into the soul, yo. We are connected with the universe. If you ever notice, look, pay attention. You ever notice that the only people that has changed through time has only been humans? Lions still do what lions. Lions are still doing lion shit. Tigers are still doing tiger shit. Giraffes are still doing giraffe shit. Plants are still doing plant stuff. The insects are still doing insect stuff. Nobody has made any transition into the universal law but us humans. And every day you're finding more and more people trying to create excuses for this new change of humanity. But every time a change come, that is another 5, 10, 15, 20, even 100 years of detachment from the universal law. All this chaos that you see going on in this world is because of us being detached from the universal law. You guys thinking that these things is prophetic. You guys thinking that this is biblical prophecy. No, this is the universe crying out loud. This is the universe saying enough. When you seeing what's going on, all of these diseases, all of these sicknesses, all of these animals, these rodents, like yo, where are these things coming from? They're coming out because of the disorder of the universe. So until we restore those things, nothing else is going to matter, bro. For us to know about the spiritual realm, we first got to fix the physical. The physical is completely broken. You guys wake up in the morning, you guys did something good, and instead of saying thank you to your ancestor, you guys running around saying thank you, Jesus. But then when things go good, it's thank you, Jesus, and that's instantly. But when you sick and you call for Jesus, it's damn, it look like he's taking forever. That's psychological. Once you break free from that, you'll be able to see things clearly. Right now, you're not able to see that because you're under their hypnosis. Religion is the matrix, guys. I'm sorry to tell you that. Religion is the matrix, guys. Religion, once you break free from religion, once you understand religion, you will know, oh, religion is a Da Vinci Code. It's always been the Da Vinci Code. Everything goes back to that. And that's why they're having the wars. That's why they're pushing this automatic draft, because they got the paperwork. What you think? Listen. Remember when the pandemic took place? Remember all them census workers was coming all to your neighborhood? They was very consistent too. You used to see them 3, 4 times a week. Remember? You remember? You ever ask yourself why? Why would you guys be risking your life? Isn't there a virus in the air? Why are you risking your life trying to figure out how many people is in a household? Why? Because they needed to see if the numbers went side by side with the churches. And guess what? The churches is losing members every single day. And when they seen that, what was the next thing that they did? Out of nowhere, they legalized marijuana. They said, "Well, shit, nigga, if you ain't gonna join the program, we ain't gonna let you tap into nothing. We're gonna make you dependent some way, shape, or form. One way or the other, you will be dependent on us." So now they legalized marijuana. So everywhere you go, you can get free weed. You can now smoke weed and blow it in front of a police officer's face, and the police will not arrest you. Why? Because when you're under the influence, you automatically detach yourself from the spiritual realm. You have to be spiritually sober in order for you to tap in and talk to your ancestors. And now that they did that, and now that people are waking up, people is waking up to the fentanyl, people is waking up to the lace frontals, to the lace. Yo, listen, I just seen a video where a sister said her man almost died because they found fentanyl in the mother effing Hennessy bottle, guys. Found this man unresponsive. They couldn't find anything. Like, yo, what was he touching? They tested the Hennessy bottle and they seen fentanyl residue inside that joint. Not outside, inside of it. And all of this is because people are waking up. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Like. All you guys should be liking. I don't know why you not liking. It costs you nothing. Free 99, bro. Like it. Fentanyl was in this man's Hennessy. Marijuana now become legal. You can smoke all you want. Why? Because the numbers are in, guys. All these religions is collapsing. All of it is collapsing. More and more people are tuning in into my lives. More and more people is like, yo, bro, listen, man, what you said was phenomenal, man. How can I learn more? Like, people want me to be teachers. People want me to teach, but it's like, it's just so much of a responsibility for me to do that. Like, it's just so much. I got so much on my plate that teaching you guys is just, I'm like, I don't want to teach. I'd rather show you the direction. Like, yo, look, bro, you go straight up, you make a left. From that left, you're gonna do a quick right. Like, that's how I want to be with it. But if the ancestors tell me, nope, you got to do it, you ain't got no choice, they'll let me know. They'll let me know. They'll let me know. And once I get the green light, guess what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm gonna sit here at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and I'm gonna talk to you guys. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about everything. But everything will always go back to religion. You know why? Because religion is the foundation of our misery. And it's not just, like I said, it's not just melanated people. Even you too, European. even you as well. Don't run and think that, oh, he sounds like he's racist and he did the no, no, no. I'm a give it to you too. I have a lot of good European friends and they need to know the facts too. They need to know the facts. All these religions is causing division. You got these black people calling Europeans Esau. You got the other ones calling, these people the seed of Cain, and all of that shit is lies. We know the origin of Europeans. That's not the topic of discussion, but everything is a lie. Everything is a lie. Just like the word of God is a lie. It's not true. It's stolen ancient text that was recreated, republished, reprinted, and given unto the masses by force, by the way. By force. No, I didn't say that. I said spirit, that's what they tell you. When you look up the definition, if you go into the Bible definition, the Bible dictionary, they said demons are spirits. So a spirit is a demon. I'm not connected to no demon. My ancestors does not carry a spirit. They operate in the soul. They went back to the solar universe. Holy, holy, according to their dictionary, means separate. Be thee holy, for I am holy. When you look up the word holy, holy means to be separate. So be thee holy, for I am holy. Holy is separate, right? So when you see spirit, right? Spirit, according to their dictionary, the definition of spirit is demons. So you're telling me that I need to have the separate demon. A separate demon needs to take control over me in order for me to understand Jesus Christ. But in that acceptance of this Holy Spirit, I must put my soul in the box first. That's what I'm saying, my guy. That's what I'm saying. Your ancestors is not a spirit. Your ancestors is human beings. They have a soul. Their soul still dwell in this solar universe. Spirit comes with religion. Spirit comes with a spell. Spell is sorcery. This is where sorcery comes from. So you guys know that the English writing, the English language was also created by those that created the Hebrew, right? You guys are aware of this, right? The English language, when you look it up, the English language did not start in England. Don't listen to these people. It did not start there. The English language was created in Germany. It was created in Germany. It was not created in no Great Britain, and no, that shit was created in Germany. All the witches and warlocks was originally in Germany. Okay? That's why all the scientists that you see of this world, whether it's Albert Einstein or whoever, all of them comes from Germany. Germany is the area where they created their madness. Everything. Bombs, liquid, poison, all that is in Germany. The language was start. These people had a plan, bro. These people had a plan. And what I mean by they had a plan, remember, when and I'm speaking for melanated people. I don't know European, I don't know y'all stories. I can only speak for myself, right? When melanated people was taken from wherever they was taken from and brought to new locations, they was forbidden to speak African. You was forbidden from speaking it. You was forbidden from singing it. You were forbidden from humming it. You were forbidden to doing anything. If you was caught, if you was caught doing that, what did they do? They used to sew your lips together. I have the documentations, man. Like if you guys see my library, it's for days, bro. I have these documentations. I have the origin of all religion. The story of Moses goes back to the Syrian man named Mis. It's called literally called the story of Moses is literally called the Syrian Mis. The story of Noah goes back to uh, uh, um, the story of Gilgamesh. All of these things go back to three plurals: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Ham, Shem, Japheth. Everything goes back to threes. 333. It's a 33-degree book. Where's my Bible? I can show you. It's a Masonic book. It's a Masonic, Luciferian, satanic, barbaric book. I have it. Straight out of the Oxford, by the way. This is not me creating it or no, straight from the Oxford Library. It's a barbaric book. It's a book that justifies slavery, justify genocide, right? Justify invasion. That's what it does. This is what it do. What time is this? 1 o'clock. Everything, nothing in the universe. That see, this is how you know you no, bro. Nothing in the universe is done in threes, bro. It's not. Everything is done with tools. Everything is plural. You got your left hand, your right hand. You got up, you got down. You got the sun, you got the moon. You got the top, you got the bottom. You got your left ear, your right ear. You got your right foot, your left foot. Everything is done in the. It takes two to have a child. Everything is plural. The odd numbers and stuff comes from them. They created that. AEIOU. AEIOU. They put the sometime Y because it's six, and six, you know what it represents. Three, three, 666, right? If I put three, six times, right? You guys gotta understand the story, man. The old. Listen, no, let me break it down for you before I leave, so you guys can get an understanding of what I'm saying. So I told you guys the Old Testament is moon worship, and the New Testament is sun worship, right? So in the Old Testament, no, let's start with the New Testament. In the New Testament, you have what? 13. You have 13 characters. Jesus plus the 12 makes 13, right? That's the New Testament. The Old Testament, excuse me, is what? Jacob had how many children? 13. They only tell you 12 because it's in honor of the months of the year. But he had 13. Remember, he had a daughter? That equals 13. It's 13. New Testament, 13. This is astrology. It has nothing to do. There's no salvation. There's no kingdom coming. Kingdom is here right now. This is Jesus' kingdom right now. This is it right now. Not tomorrow, not 10 months, not 6 years, not 100 years. It's right here, right now. So whatever you waiting for, keep waiting. You're going to see how biblical prophecy does not add up. You're going to see that. You telling me, let me ask you guys a question. You telling me this is the final of this is the war of all wars. You know that people were saying that in the Desert Storm. People were saying that when they was in the Vietnam. People were saying that World War I and World War II. Or this is the end of this is the war. This is great. The Armageddon is around the corner. Nothing. You know the doomsday clock. You think the doomsday clock is really having to do something with some miraculous uh catastrophic judgment that's gonna be no. That clock represents the money. That's when everything's gonna be doomed. It's when the money dies out. When people stop working. When people stop listening. When people stop obeying. When people stop doing the fugazi. This is when you're going to see what you're seeing. Has nothing to do with all this. I'm telling you guys this. Listen, you don't gotta listen to me, man. Let your ancestors speak to you. You gonna understand what I'm talking about. All of this is about control. When it's all said and done, guys, it goes back to control. That's it. So, with that being said, guys, I love you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, ROD Podcast 12. If you have any questions, you can either leave it in the comment, type in, I have a question so I can take the time out and read it, or reach out to me on Instagram, send me a DM. I'm going to respond. I promise you I will respond. Forgive me if I answer a day late or so. Is because I get so much DMs is crazy. You would think that these people are in a relationship with me. You feel me? But I'm gonna respond. I want you guys to stay tuned, support it. We had 137,000 subscribers. Let's hit the 200K before summer. That's the goal. Hit 200K. Stay consistent. And I know you guys want me to be consistent. I know you guys want me to pull up, but I'll be honest, man. Everyday life, being a dad, being a husband, or like it's a lot. But now I'm making a transition where I'm going to make this a full-time thing for me. Like I'm gonna be here from 8 to 8. You know what I'm saying? Like content after content. You know, I'm the life coach on the go. Oh, that's another thing too. Check that. Check out the Life Coach on the Go website. We give free consultation. The first 15 minutes is on the house. We sit down, we talk, we figure out what's going on, and from that, I create a game plan and we execute that game plan. I'm gonna be on your heels. I'm telling you that right now. I am a coach. Like I do not tolerate failures. I don't accept giving up. I don't accept things is too hard. And I definitely don't accept you too goddamn scared. We're not doing none of that. We're gonna get it together. We're gonna rise together. We're gonna work together. We're gonna fix together. So if you wanna be a part of that, you want to join the life coach and you want service from the life coach from me, Life Coach on the Go LLC dot XYZ. From there, fill out the form. I will receive your information. I will set up an appointment. We'll talk. We'll figure out what's going on, whatever the circumstances may be. For all my single mothers, if you are in the tri-state area and you wanna uh, um, and you want a male presence in your child's life, we provide that as well, right? We bringing the men's out. The men is going to teach these boys how to be men. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my sisters, y'all can't do it alone. You need male support, and we here to give that support. So like, comment, share, subscribe, join the movement. We're not playing, we're working, we exposing it all. I know a lot of you guys is very heartbroken right now, shocked, a little heartache, right? A little hardened, mad of what information you guys heard today, but you guys need to know this, man. Like for real, Ojo Society, you need to know this because enough is enough. We're losing. They're about to take away our children, sacrifice our children for shit that we don't even have no parts of. So if you want that, then you do you. But if not, you got to do over here. Pause. So support it, like, comment, share, subscribe. It's your brother, man, and I'm out of here. All right.